What up, pressure washers, and if you do Christmas light installers, or whatever you might do. So today I'm going to go over some stuff that things you can do during the wintertime. And I know you're probably like, I guarantee it's going to be Christmas lights. Yes, if you want to make money in the wintertime, that is Christmas lights. But I'm not going to talk to you about making Christmas lights or making money doing Christmas lights today. Today, I want to talk to you about things we need to do to get ready, especially if you are in an area that is I'm trying to make this sun so I don't have a funny face looking here. That is if you're in an area that you can't wash during the winter time. And what are some things we can do so that way we can be ready, that we can start washing and be ready to wash when spring comes and we are ready to start making money. And the one thing I would tell you to do is we need to, or you need to start getting your marketing stuff done now. Wintertime is a great time to, especially if you're going to try to do it on your own, is to do your website and to get your processes down and to just work on your AdWords and everything that you need to do marketing wise is a great time to do in the wintertime. Work on SEO. Try to get your SEO pages up for your pressure washing business, so that way when spring comes it'll have some time for it to be generating, and when spring comes you will be ready to rock and roll. If you don't get these processes down now, when you start getting busy in the spring, it don't ever happen. So what I always did in the wintertime is I would work on my website a whole lot. I would work on building pages of, pressure washing of a different city, of, pressure washing Hebron, pressure washing Northside, pressure washing, just different types of blogs that I tried to work on. House washing, power washing, the paver patios, we started cleaning those, so I did some SEO on those and all that great things. And so with that being said, that is some things we need to do to start working on in the wintertime. And I will answer all your questions if you just put them down in below, and then I'll come back through and I'll answer them. I don't have my computer today, so I can't actually see them, so I'll have to go up on my phone and start doing it again to do it. So if you have questions, ask them down here in the bottom here. But so those are some things we need to do. For our Google My Business, we need to make sure we got 100 pictures of all our Google My Business stuff, and we got them labeled. We got them instead of just being 000075432 .jpeg, we need to make sure that we're labeling them Hebron pressure washing, Hebron house washing Hebron, house washing 41048 zip code. We need to make sure that we're naming all these pictures, and we need to get all these pictures up in there. This will help our maps. So when you're scrolling on Google and, the first thing we're going to see obviously is our 3 ads. Then the next thing we're going to do is see our maps. This is a great time to work on that kind of stuff of our maps and getting all our maps ready to go and rock and roll for our springtime. So with that being said, this is a great time to do for wintertime. To make money wise, well, like I say, Christmas lights is a great way to make money during the wintertime. Right now is the leaves are falling and it's getting fall. You can make good money doing gutter cleaning. Get those gutter cleaning signs out. Get those, get the gutter cleaning signs. Get everything you need. Another great thing to do, especially this time of year, is this. Do your budget, kind of set what your goals are next year. If you don't have a goal, you don't have nothing to shoot for. If your goal is to make $100,000, then this is a great time in the wintertime to figure out, what do I need to do to make $100,000? And I guarantee you can make $100,000 doing pressure washing. Jeremy is not too far from me from here, lives in Podunk, in the middle of Indiana, and he makes $100,000 over. He's already up to $125,000 this year. So you can make $100,000 no problem doing pressure washing. Will you have to work 80, 100 hours? No, you don't need to work 80, 100 hours. I know all kind of guys out there that work 80, 100 hours and they still don't make $100,000, or they kill themselves and they're working. You got to be smart about things. You got to know how to bid. You got to know how to get business and marketing, and you got to know all these things. And if you don't know these things, you need to learn these things, because here's the deal. Jeremy up in Indiana, he's about an hour north of Cincinnati. He is doing a great job, and he started doing Christmas lights last year, and that just he's already made over $100,000 just in pressure washing from this year. And he even said himself, I talked to him the other day on the phone, that he hasn't worked that hard to make it. So you just got to be smart about it. You got to know how to bid. You got to know how to do everything you need to do for business is what you need to know. And if you don't know that, you got to figure that out. Now, you can go learn a lot of everything I got that I'm in my membership. You can go check that out. That's my online training. You can go to pressurewashhelp.com/training, and that's a great place to start. But that's not the only place to start. Do I give a lot of information? I give a whole lot of information in there. But you got to remember that, even me, myself, I still go to conferences. I still go to training, and I still go and learn as much as I can in marketing. And it's not even just about going to a pressure washing convention. It's about going to where you learn how to market, learn how to grow your business, get around successful business owners, get around that type of people. And they don't have to be pressure washers. They can be anything else. Because guess what? If you know how to market, you will be able to blow your business up and be very, very successful. And when you're very successful, then you can come back and thank me. All right, so I'm going to answer some questions here. I don't know. I've lost some people here, but all right, so the quick question. I'm changing the oil on my pump, and I drained the oil, and I filled it up, but can't see the oil through the sight glass. Come on. Live chat, all messages are visible. Do I add more oil, or should I run the pressure washer? I would run more oil, or I would add more oil. You should see it halfway up in that sight glass. If you got the dipstick, you can take the dipstick out and see how much is on the dipstick. But just remember too, it is kind of hard to see, especially if it's brand new oil and it's and you got the pump oil. You definitely want to use the pump oil. You can actually buy pump oil, which is it's a non-detergent oil, or you can use 30 weight non-detergent, because the reason why you want the non-detergent is because if you don't use non-detergent, what can happen in that pump is it will foam. And when that foam gets going, that can be very bad and bad on stuff. So that is why we want to use the non-detergent oil. Or you can just use pump oil, and it's actually less than 30 weight. But the non-detergent is really the main important part. And it's not easy to find that stuff either. Most auto stores have it, but a lot of times you got to look really hard for that pump oil. And just make sure you're up into the sight glass when you're done. Otherwise, you can have other issues with low oil. And, that pump is cost you $1,000, or now they're about $800, $600-800, depending on what type of pump you got. And so that is why we want to make sure that we check that oil. On average, how much should it go into a pump? I believe it's like 2 quarts. It's either a quart or 2 quart. So it is quite a bit more than what you think it is, because they're pretty wide and they're pretty long, so it actually takes up pretty much oil to get it up there. And if you put too much in, just crack the thing open and let it back out. The other thing is kind of, sometimes them sight glasses can be a little funky, so pour some in and then let it sit, so that way if it gets, so it'll have time to get in that sight glass. And if that sight glass gets dirty, which you really can't tell that or know if it's dirty or not, that is kind of, that might be a little bit of an issue, but usually it's not. So that is one thing with that. How big of a buffer tank do I need for a 4th GPM machine at 4200 psi? Let's go down to buffer tank. I actually just did a video because I don't know if you may have somebody sent a question into me asking about the buffer tank and how big of a buffer tank do I need. The buffer tank does two things. It carries water, and the number one thing it does is it keeps the pump cool. It does, and that's more than what anything other it does. It keeps the pump cool. The purpose of a buffer tank is to keep the pump cool. So I can be pressure washing. I can go lay my gun down, and I can go back to my truck and turn the soap off and come back. If I did that without a buffer tank, I could burn up that pump. Just that time for me walking from my gun back to the machine and turning it off and going back, that can burn up a pump. So the purpose of the buffer tank is basically my neighbor comes over and I set my gun down, and when I set my gun down, I go talk to the neighbor, and I can talk to him for 10 minutes, and it will just sit there and run. So with that all being said, for a 4 gallon a minute, you can do, you could do a 35 gallon minute buffer tank, no problem. I do a 35 gallon minute buffer tank for a 5.5 gallon minute pump, and I'm fine. Even on an 8 gallon buffer tank, you can get away with about a 55 or 55 gallon drum or a 65 gallon thing. I will have a video coming out either this week or next. I'm started going back to a video coming out every Friday and Monday. I kind of got detoured here lately and have been really busy. I'm going to be busy these next 2 weeks. So I'm going to try to get videos out Monday and Friday. And I do have one about buffer tanks, and I go really in detail about buffer tanks. But the biggest thing about buffer tanks are, the people that say, well, what if they got low water? Okay, well, here's my question to those people. Most people carry around an empty buffer tank. So does it fill up quicker of a 35 gallon or a 265 gallon tote? So a 265 gallon, it's going to take me 35 gallons just to fill it up this much. Well, 35 gallons of this much of a 35 gallon tank is completely full. So I only need 2 or 3 gallons for it to be over my intake, and I can start pressure washing again. So that is why we want to do the buffer tank in that. All right, see a couple more questions here. Brian, I want to build my own 8 gallon a minute driven pressure washer, but I'm having trouble finding a belt and bushings. If you could recommend someone to help me find parts. Yep. DJ put that one of Southside Equipment. Call Russ. He will get you the exact parts you will need, and he is a very smart fella, and he will get you everything you need for parts wise of that, because even if you're going from a 5 to an 8, it's a different size pulley, and he's got all the calculations to know what size pulleys go on what size of the pump versus the engine and all that. That's above my pay grade, and I don't really care about it, because whenever I need something like that, I call Mr. Russ Johnson at Southside Equipment and just ask him what I need, and he will send me what I need. If you try to figure it out, it's a pain in the neck, because it's calculated through the pulleys and all that kind of stuff, how big the belt is and all that kind of stuff. All right. Do I got any other? So those are some things that we need to do. So if you got any questions or any more questions, just let me know. But if you want to grow your business, this is a great time of year to not spend money on ads. This is a great time of year to start building your company for the spring, getting all your equipment ready for the spring. When I started business in 2011, I actually went to a conference in the fall and I built my trailer all winter long. I went and piddled around here and there, and that's how I got my trailer built. So when spring came, I was ready to get going. Is marketing on Google or Facebook better? So that's a great question. So it depends. Here's what that depends on. How much there's two ways to get customers. There's two ways to get customers. You either put time in, or you open your wallet and you pay money. And it don't matter how you do it. You either pay money or you put time into it. So when you're on Facebook, and I know people that are very successful on Facebook. Rob Anderson gets a lot of business off of Facebook. But Rob Anderson spends a lot of time on Facebook. I bet he posts 3 to 5 times a day of different things every day for him to do that. That takes time, and that's how he grows his business that way. Now, when you're on Facebook, just think about yourself. When you're on Facebook and you're scrolling through, are you thinking about services of going to your house? Are you thinking about that? So when I think of Facebook is kind of like EDDM, every direct door mailer, the little mailers. You're putting stuff in the mailbox and they're getting it out and they're going throw away bill, throw away check, which nobody gets a check anymore in the mail, but bill, that kind of stuff. So you're trying to hope that they pick your stuff out of it. And it's the same way with Facebook. When you are marketing on Google, what are they doing at Google? They're looking for a service. They're looking for pressure washing. They're looking for roof cleaning. They're looking for that service. So my opinion is Google is definitely where you want to be at. Rather that's trying to get into maps, get into AdWords, and you spend money, or if you really want to take time and do a lot of SEO. But in my opinion, SEO, to get to SEO stuff, you are at least 4 to 6 swipes on your phone to get to SEO. So with that being said, you got to remember, our people that call us is mobile, and it is probably around the 60. I think the last time I checked, it was around the 68% you find us through mobile. So everybody is on their phone, and that means it takes 6 swipes to be able to find you if you're just trying to do SEO. So, does SEO good? Yes. And I'm not knocking SEO 100% because SEO is also Google Maps. Now, Google Maps, it only takes about 2 swipes. And there's some things on Google Maps that we really want to push. What is SEO? SEO is search engine optimization. Basically, you can pay a whole lot of money for snake oil, and there's a lot of companies out there that will say, I'll get you #1 on Google. Bullcrap. They might get, if your name is pressure washing, Brian's pressure washing in Seattle, yeah, they can get you #1. That'll be real easy. But who all is searching for Brian's pressure washing in Seattle? Nobody. Most people that I see that searching are either searching for pressure washing house, pressure washing deck, house washing, roof cleaning near me. All these are what are searching for. So AdWords is probably the best place to do it. Now, in my membership, it's not there yet, but it will be coming. It does have your Google My Business. Top wash. Okay, so I guarantee you, nobody's going to put in top wash Pittsburgh, because nobody knows who you are. You got to be able to know who you are to be able to do that. And even on AdWords, I will put in people for my competitors. I will bid on those competitors' name. Now, with that being said, if I don't have a high budget and I don't have a lot of money to spend, I will put them as negative keywords, so that way I do not type in my negatives those are my negatives for my AdWords, and that's why I do that because If they're searching for my competitor, they're probably wanting them, and it's a lot harder to turn that customer over versus a new customer that's just looking for power washing or house washing or something along those lines. All right, I know I had some. Let's see. Anthony writes, I've been working on my own website. I also have a website through Google. So, as far as reviews, do you link everyone to your Google site or your own website? And can you link them together? So, the Google site, I know Google likes Google and they're going to probably do it more through that. But a lot of times the way I would do my reviews is I would make, even if you got to do a pretty link, if you don't know what a pretty link is, you can download the you can download a plugin called Pretty Link. And what that Pretty Link will do is you can put whatever your website is slash reviews, and it will take them to that Google website to give you a review. So that way you can say, hey, go to my website and give me a review. If you click on go to review, and it'll take you, or go to website slash review, it will take you straight to my review page. And I would appreciate it if you would give me a review. So with that being said, that way you can go there and do that. On the only reason why I'm saying about the Google listing side of, or the Google business, or the Google website side of things, DJ's on here, and he had one, but you can only do so much with that Google website. So I would just, you definitely want to get your reviews. No matter what you do, that is one very important thing you want to do, is get reviews. Now, that's not the only thing you need to do. That's just one of like 10 things you need to do. So to make that up and better. Let's see here. How much do you think one man show can make himself yearly? That being said, at what point do you decide to hire help? Loaded question, but that's a great question. How much do I think a one man show can make in a year? I talked a little bit earlier, so I don't know if you were here earlier, of a guy that is Jeremy. He's out about north of Ohio, he's about an hour north of Cincinnati, in Richmond, Indiana. And actually, he's not even in Richmond, Indiana. He's just up in a little podunk city up there. And he has already made in his pocket right around the $100,000. And that's counting all his expenses are already paid on top of that. And everything. So do I think a one-man show can make $100,000? Absolutely, I do, and that's $100,000 in your pocket. That's not net of, you got to pay your fuel and all that out of it. I do think you can do it for $100,000, and I think you can do it with a one-man show. I know you can. And here's the thing: you will make more money than you will You will make more money being a one-man show, or maybe one-man show and a helper or two, than you will probably make having 5 employees, 10 employees. Because what that does is money just keeps going here, there, and everywhere. Your workers' comp goes up. You got to pay payroll tax. You got to pay every freaking thing. Everybody wants your money when you start making more money. So with that being said, and I know I may get scalded on this, but I'm going to be honest with you. I made more money when I was smaller than I was when I was bigger. Now, if you're looking to grow and sell your business, fine. Try to get it as big as you can. Try to get it as profitable as you can, and all that kind of stuff. But you kind of got to be careful on that. But do I think you can make $150,000 as a company, and have $30,000 and $40,000 in expenses, and you take home $110,000? I absolutely do believe you can do it, because I know Jeremy's doing it, and he's not working. Some of these guys are like, you just got to hustle and work 80 hours a week, bullcrap. Bullcrap. He even said it's about part-time, just about, and he's making that kind of money. When I was in business, we never worked Saturdays. We never made our guys work Saturdays. Why wear them out at that point? Now in the Christmas light season, that's another thing. And that's exactly right. Goals. Set goals and figure out how to get to those goals. If I want to make $100,000 door knocking, you ain't gonna make $100,000 doing door knocking. I'm sorry, Brian, but that's not a way you're gonna make $100,000. Now, if you put 100,000 signs out there, you might make it for sure. But so with that being said, goals is a great thing. Sit there and know what your budget is. If here's the thing. If you know that you want to make $100,000, and I'm going to make math real easy. And in the greater Cincinnati, I'm going to make it real easy because I'm not to make it even easier for me. I know I can only work 10 months out of the year. So that means I got to make $10,000 a month. $10,000 a month. Now, I'm actually going to have to make a little bit more than that because in Cincinnati, I'm only going to get 8 to 9 months out of the year. But I'm going to keep math easy to be able to show you how to set your goals. So if I do $100,000 and I want to make $60,000 in my pocket, so that's going to leave me $40,000 for expenses and all that kind of stuff. So with that being said, if I got 10 months to make $10,000 a month, I'm going to take $10,000 and divide that by 4. So now I only got to make $2,500 a week. That's not too bad, is it? $2,500 a week? That's not real hard to do. So $2,500 a week. Okay, so now I'm going to knock that down to another 5 days. So you can see how much money I need to make per day. And then I can go from there. And then the next thing I'm going to say is, all right, so what is my average job? How much can I get on the average side of a job? So can I get, our average was over $400 because we added packages, we did roof cleaning. And so we knew that our goal was $1,200 to $1,500 a day per truck is what our goal is. And that's where we could be profitable and make money and do it. And it paid all our bills and everything. So that is how we can set up and figure out how much we need to make and do it and going through that. This has been my exact thing, breaking everything down to each job. And once you get it broke down to each job, then you can figure out, the other thing we knew was, for getting pressure washing jobs, we spent roughly about $27 to $30 in Google AdWords to get one job. So one job, and we paid $30. So then we knew, how much money we had to spend to get the number of jobs to get there. So right now we have grown. 2019, I'm still doing the marketing for the Cincinnati store that I sold, so we've bumped our budget up to be able to keep 4 trucks going full time. Because it's kind of hard to keep 4 trucks going full time sometimes. So you really got to spend some budget to be able to get there. But if you break it down to the daily, how much do I need to make per day? How much do I need to make per job? And how many jobs can I do per day? And then we can go from there. And then the next thing is here's the next thing. How can I get my average ticket up so that way I make more money and I can do less work? That's even better. I can make more money and do less work. I'll tell you one thing, it's not by selling on price. Well, if I'm cheap, they'll come buy from me. If you're cheap, somebody will come buy from you. But if you're more money, somebody will buy from you them too. It's probably not going to be this cheap customer, but it's going to be this higher end customer. Because if we can sell on service and the quality job we're doing and all that kind of stuff, then we'll make more money. If we sell on price, it does us no good. Price is the last thing we need to sell on. If you're selling on price, that is not a good thing. All right, I'm going to get off that soapbox. Thank you for your videos. Thanks for watching. Message retracted. Goals. Door knocking. Hello, I'm interested in getting into the pressure washing industry. I want to know what I need for a complete starter setup to go for business and myself. So pressurewashhelp.com/training is a great place to start. I go over all every way to how to clean everything and everything like that. Also, I have a lot of videos. I have a video series called a $2,500 um, 25. It's like a build list, something like that, and that goes everything that is for you to be able to start your pressure washing business. If you would like to get a hold of DJ Lyle of Liberty Pressure Washing, he might even make you a rig for that. All right. Michael, Dayton area here. Know what you mean with the weather. Okay, yeah, Michael. Actually, I think I either messaged you or you talked something. Okay, so you're from Dayton. That's awesome. What part of Dayton are you from? Are you up by Lima, or are you not that far? What are other ways besides the internet to gain initial customers? Well, boots on the ground is one way. Signs, if you're allowed to do signs are a great way to get business. I did about 30,000 my first year just off of signs. And I didn't do the sign game that I tell people to do now. Here's my challenge. If you're willing to do signs, go spend 300, 350 and buy 100 signs and put out 25 every Friday. Don't put them out during the week, put them out on Friday. And here's why you put them out on Friday. Because Friday is when people are mowing the grass. Friday is, yes, bandit signs. Friday is a great day. And here's another why Friday is a good day. If you put them out on Friday, there's a pretty good darn chance that they will still be up on Monday and Tuesday because they haven't gotten pulled yet, because they're not working to pulling out signs on the weekend. So when I put 25 signs out every week. And even if you move them, say I'm going to do this area, I would take probably 3 areas. So this area, I'm going to hit this. I'm going to be real tight right here and hit these 25. Next week, I'm going to be over here in this city over here. And this side here, I'm going to be this city down here. And then that 4th week, I'm coming back up here and starting over. Or you can do 4 signs and do it, all of that kind of stuff. And that way, when you are done doing in signs work. And here's the thing, but people be like, well, they pulled my signs out. Well, that's why you pay $3 a sign and don't worry about it. $300, one job, you paid for all your signs, and you'll get more jobs out of 100 signs than one job. I guarantee it. Let's see. What other ways of getting signs? Go knock on, I wouldn't say go knock on doors, because that's not a great way to get some customers. Networking is a great way. Go to BNI. There's you can go do BNI. You can do meetup.com, has places of businesses that you go talk about your business, they talk about their business, and you help each other get business. And that's a great way. I did BNI when I first started because I was not good at communication very well, and I struggled pretty hard. And even on sales side of things, it was a struggle. I can tell you everything there is to know about pressure washing. I can tell you everything there is to know about equipment, but sales was one of my things that I struggled with. Talking in front of people, I struggled really hard with. So I went to a BNI group, and what you do is basically you get 90 seconds to talk about your business, and everybody in the room gets 90 seconds to talk about their business. And with that being said, I learned how to do stuff, and I was able to help grow my business by doing that. Now BNI takes up a lot of time, but I know a lot of people that make a lot of money off of BNI. So I wouldn't say that now. I'm great. What's better, open or closed trailer? It depends on if you are in a cold climate. Be good for a closed. A closed trailer is also good for advertising. You can get them wrapped, and you can wrap it, and that's a good way to get business. You are going to pay some money. Is kind of I went over the other day of how long is that ROI going to take you to get that wrap back. But the open trailer, the great things about that is if you have issues, you can work on your truck and trailer very easy. Um, you guarantee you're dealing with bleach. Stuff's gonna break. It's not gonna work perfect. You're dealing with stuff moving because you're moving down the road. So stuff's gonna get loose. Stuff, it just happens. So that's the great thing about an open trailer. An open trailer is you can get to it on all sides. So open versus closed, you know, it's kind of half one quarter the other. So if you're in a cold climate, you can put heaters in there, stuff to keep it warm during the wintertime. So that's one thing to keep considered. Um, let's see. It's BNIB. Um, Boy, Nancy, injector. Going door to door can take so much time with door hangers. You and can bother people. I put my flyers on mailboxes. My brother is a mailman, and he said it's not illegal. Do you think it's a good idea? I thought it was illegal to put stuff on mailboxes. I know it's illegal to put stuff in mailboxes. Door knocking, I never had no luck, and I've walked probably 20 miles of doing door hangers and that kind of stuff. Now, with that being said, door hangers on a customer that we just did next door does work great. You can go put that door hanger up there, and that does work good. That isn't a bad thing. That is a good thing to do, is door hangers. So that's a great way to be able to get business that way. All right, we're door to door. So talking on signs, where do you put them? Busy corners, absolutely. So around here in Northern Kentucky, I'll put them at any stop sign. Another great place, especially even where you are up in the Dayton area, is put them off on your on and off ramps. When you're getting off an off ramp is a great place to put them, because a lot of times you're just sitting there waiting on the light to turn. Um, you know, if you're out in the country, you can put them at stop signs, that kind of thing. If you are allowed, and you see other people doing it and you're not getting caught, you can put them up on telephone poles. I did a video on how to build a thing to put them up on telephone poles. That's another way, but that's just a couple ways to do it. So all right, so tell me, what is your best way of getting customers? Or are you new and you don't know yet? Or what has worked for you? I I found out that I could do AdWords, and once I found out I could do AdWords, then I could found out how much it took to get a customer, and then I went from $50 a day in AdWords to $200 a day in AdWords, because I knew how much I could get out of that customer and how much that customer is worth. A lot of people be like, "Well, you spent $50 or $100 for a customer." Yep, but what's the lifetime value of that customer? What is that customer going to bring me? Is that customer going to give me his neighbor? Is it going to be is that customer going to tell his neighbors? Is that customer own a business that needs to be cleaned? So yes, $50, $100 might have cost me to get a customer, but what's the lifetime value of that customer? Christmas lights. Our Christmas light value, lifetime value, is crazy, crazy high. It's probably anywhere from, we got customers for paying us Christmas lights that I bet we've done $20,000 worth of work from one customer. So, but yes, we might pay $200 for a customer, and that. So, that is kind of what it is. Have you worked for realtors cleaning before? Yes, we have. They're very hard to work for because they're all about me. They don't care about nobody else. They want you to do it the cheapest, and they'll tell you that. But yet, when I throw out that Well, you're not what's your price? Well, that. Well, no, it ain't that. It's about professionalism. It's about all that kind of stuff. So does realtors work? Yes, you can get into something. Like we had a couple realtors that would make their clients clean every house because they knew the curb appeal was so much worth the time into buying that stuff. So that is why they did it, and so we went with it, and that was a great thing about it. So that is something for sure is a good thing to do. That it's good to try to, you know, I've done times of, and I got work from it. When Sim Jim was big, you know, when Sim Jim was sending out the postcards, I would look at the realtors and then I would send them a postcard to that house saying, hey, I know you're trying to sell your house, but you got this dirty roof and we can clean it for you. And that's how we got jobs. Um, let's see. Word of mouth is the number one way for me. I do window cleaning and pressure washing. New to pressure washing, no. Word of mouth is good, but you will not grow to be a huge business. You can only grow so because it takes time. And I know businesses that do a lot of money, even as word of mouth. They've been in business for 20 some years and they've got a great reputation. They can make it by word of mouth. Most people cannot. I own a detail business and we got over 500 jobs from Facebook, but I sold that business off. Okay, so my question to you is how did you get 500 jobs off Facebook? Did you post it? Did you run ads, or did you run ads, or did you do a lot of posting? Did you do a lot of that kind of stuff? Because like I say, I do think Facebook can work. You got to spend a lot of time, and especially on detailing, because detailing is real easy because everybody has a dirty car. And I know there's a detailer actually North Cincinnati here, and he posts on every car that he cleans. He'll take a before picture of how nasty it is, and he'll take an after picture of how clean it is. And I mean, that's what you're wanting. That's what you're showing is. And you know, I come to you, I'll clean it for you, all that kind of stuff. Um, how do you sell to the service? Yeah, all posting. How do I work? What's that one? How do you sell to the service? How do I sell the service? It's about the professionalism. It's about uh, it's about how to be professional. It's about that we use professional equipment, we use professional solutions. You can use a proprietary solution, all that great stuff. And that is something that it does take time to get good at, is how to sell the service. You know, and even as a service, you know, well, I don't want to spend that much money. Okay, then we can knock off what, you know, we won't do the driveway, we won't do this, you know. And that's the great thing about packages. If you sell it as a package, then that helps out to be able to get that package and be able to do that. Jacob Myers, good to see you again. How do you deal with unsatisfied customers after the job is complete? And how also do you use that as a chance to prove you're a problem solver and possible get referrals off of? How do you deal with problem customers? That's a loaded question. So the best thing to do, especially if they left you a bad review, the first thing you want to try to do is get that off. If they left you a review, you want to try to get it off of Google, and try to solve that problem. Hey, ma'am, sorry that you've had this issue. Will you please call the office so we can get this taken care of? And this is how I always tell people. You're going to have 90% of the people you will make happy. 10% of the people, you will never make them happy. I don't care what you do. They're grumpy old people, or they can be young people, snotty up people that you will never make happy. And you just go back 2 or 3 times, and then by the time they think that you're put in enough time, then you've dealt with that customer. And if they're still paying after that, then finally you got to fire that customer. But that is one thing that is tough. And you got to remember, my clean and your clean and everybody else's clean is an opinion. So my clean, it might be look different than your clean. So what I always tell people is clean it to 90% clean. to what you think is 90% clean. That way you satisfy those 90% of the people. And, and then if you can't get it off Google and they're not going to respond, just don't go in detail. Just, you don't have to be dirty and nasty on Google, but just say, this is what happened. And, I couldn't get it, and just fess up to it sometimes. Sometimes that is the best thing. If you mess up, fess up. That's, it's better to be upfront and truthful up front versus they're going to find it out later down the road. And then what was it? Yes. How do you find the realtors and sell services to them? Sorry. Find them usually I find them on Facebook because they want to know that, hey, look at me, I'm a realtor, I'm trying to sell this house. What is a good price per square foot on commercial lots, such as gas stations? What is a good price on an average driveway? So gas stations, I never did a whole lot of them because you got to go in cheap, and I don't want to go in cheap. But I'm not saying that there's not money in it, but that's just something that I don't go into it much. Commercial driveways, I try to get over $200 an hour per driveway. If it's going to take me 2 hours, then I'm at $400. Usually you can kind of be at about 20 cents per square foot to kind of give you an average. And how that average comes out is on average, I can clean, I personally can clean about 1,800 to 2,000 square foot per hour. Now, when I have employees, they're at about 1,500 square feet per hour. So, so that's kind of how I come up with that price range. What's up, Jason from Idaho? So your contracting business. How you doing, sir? I forgot to tell you I was going live tonight. Have you dealt with false negative reviews ratings on Google? I have dealt with, I know who you are, Steve. I have dealt with people that have been bad, that have been employees that have given me a bad review. And Google now will get rid of those negative reviews if if you put in that has been a bad review from that. With a customer or a false negative review, you can put it in as a thing. But a lot of times what I'll do is I will just say, hey, this was never my customer. I have never dealt with this person. I don't know who he is. And he's trying to give me a bad rating. And I'll put that in there. And, if he responds back about, then obviously it wasn't a fake one. You were trying to cover up something that you were just trying to cover up. So that is something that, your Google reviews are so important, especially in the pressure washing business of, we got 150 some reviews, and that's how we were able to keep it going. Well, I need a water pump for my system, or you suggest a gravity feed system, and what's a good size tank to start off with? That depends on, obviously you want a gravity fed system, and usually belt driven is your best bet. Sometimes some of your direct drives will be will gravity feed, but most of them will not, especially if you're on the cheaper end. If you're on the higher end direct drives, they will. If you're on the lower end, they will not. If you're at a 4 gallon a minute pump, you can be at about 4 GPMs. You can be at 35 gallon buffer tank, and 55 gallon or 35 will work for a 5 gallon also. That's what I actually have on mine. If you go to an 8, I would probably bump up to a 65 gallon tank, and that way you can go from there. Alrighty. I got any more questions? I've been on here for almost 48 minutes. How do you get your reviews? I'm trying to build my reviews currently. So the best way is kind of like what I was saying earlier. Obviously, the first thing you want to do is ask. And you really want to build this from the beginning. When you pull up on a job, It's best to build this from the very beginning. It's best to start out as saying, ma'am, I'm a small business and I'm going to clean your house today. And this ain't word for word, but you put it in your own words. And I'm looking to give you a 5-star um, service. And in return, I would like for you to give me a 5-star review. Are you willing to do that? Yeah, I would be. Okay. So when I'm done, if you're willing to give me a 5-star review, we can pull it right up here on my app or your app right here on your phone. You can pull it up right here. You can go to website.com/reviews and it'll take you right to where you need to give me a review, and I appreciate it. So you get done, you wash all your house, you tell them to come out, and you say, ma'am, does this look like a 5-star review to you? Yeah. All right. Then would you please give it to me? And if you're not that brave and you don't want to ask that much, this is what I always tell people, ma'am. And this was always at the end of the job. I'm a small business and I'm trying to get my reviews up, and I would appreciate if you would give me a 5-star review for this job. You can go to pressurewashhelp.com/review, and right there you will do that. Then once they get their invoice, they're going to get another invoice, or they're going to get another email that's coming out right behind my invoice of saying, hey, 2 days later, I'll send out another email. Hey, thank you for doing the service. Do you have any problems? If you have any problems, let me know right here. Bam, right there. You can ask this question, and that will give me that questionnaire. Or if you don't have it and you would like to give me a 5-star review, please put it down here. And we send that email out 3 times after we did our job. And the reason why we did that is so that way we can get our reviews up. We get our reviews up, and then that makes our money go up, because the reviews are your social proof of your business. And if you don't do that, that's what it is. All right. So I got, let's see. Ricky Walter, how you doing tonight? Supreme Wash, Jason, thanks, man. Love what you do. This Q&A. You got any questions? I haven't heard nothing from you tonight, man. How do? Thanks, Myers. I need help with a dual launch with the turn on. Okay, so you're the one. What size tip does it have? You're talking about the dual launch with the turn, and is it flowing water out once you open up the valve, or is it not flowing even once you open up the valve? And if you are flowing, do you got a tip in there, or is it just flowing? So yes, it does flow when you open up the valve. Now, is there a tip in that? A tip in that one? Yes. And what size tip are you using in that one? Because that's going to have, if it's too small of a tip, it won't work. It will not pull soap. So what I would suggest you do is take that tip out and then see if it'll pull soap. And if it's not pulling soap, maybe where that valve is not opening all the way up, it could cause it not to pull soap. Let's see. How do you clean black streaks off the gutters without using a ladder on a 2 to 3 story? How do we do that? It's a pain in the neck. I'm trying to keep getting lights. If not, I use white tip, but soap tip is alone. So you're using the white tip on the one side and the soap tip on the other. So how to get the black streaks off without getting up there? I may have to turn around here so I can keep my light on here. It is best to use Mr. Longarm. Mr. Longarm is a 24-foot pole, and then a bunch of the places have the gutter brushes. It's a 45 brush, so it's kind of got a brush on both sides, and that is the best brush to use. And what I always did is, I don't think I have any videos of this because I hate doing gutter cleaning and I hate doing gutter braiding. But basically, what I'll do is take the F13, put it in a bucket, put some water in it, dilute it down, And then what you're going to do is you're going to dip it in the bucket, and then you're going to take that Mr. Long Arm and you're going to come across. And basically, the important part of it is you're putting the chemical on. You're going to do a 5 to 10 foot section, and you're going to rinse it off. So what I'll do is dip it, get it in there, maybe dip it again and hit it again, and then it'll rinse right off. And that 24-foot pole will get you up 30 feet if you're 6 foot tall. So that's how I'm able to get up that high. All right. I use the white tip alone. Yeah. Have you tried to use it without that gun, that dual lance? I never had luck with the dual lance, and they're heavy. That's why I never used the dual lance. I just spoke with a realtor last week, and we talked about how I could offer package deals to their clients. He thought it was a dynamite idea. Now I need to get some packages together. And here's the thing about the packages, dude. You are right about the packages, but also this is where we started offering one-side packages and one-side premium packages. And the reason why we offered the one-side packages too is because if a what's it called? A home inspector goes and says this house needs to be dirty, this house is dirty or something. What you can do is then you offer that package. And when you do that, when you offer that package, you offer a one side. And on that one side, we also offered a one side with I'm getting turned around here so I can still be seen with the light here. So with that being said, I'm actually at my daughter's, she's at church, or she's at youth group tonight, so I'm waiting on her. So that's why I'm doing that. But with that packages, what you want to do with that package is offer, the one side as one package, just one side. Because what happens is a home inspector will come and say, you really need to get that clean. That could be damaged or whatever, something stupid, because they can screw homeowners by doing that. So the great thing about that is then you can say, all right, I'll give you the one side package and we'll clean that one side of the house. And we're gonna, and don't give it that much of a discount off of a whole house. Our whole houses are 300. Our one side is 225. And you know how many we sell of them? A whole bunch. Because what happens is they want that one side clean, and the way they get that one side cleaned is they got to get that one side clean. So we're going to charge. We're not going to do it for next to nothing. Why would I only want to charge $100 to go clean one side? That's not worth my time to go out there and do it. So with that, so go out there. And then what we did is one side and the driveway, or one side and the sidewalk. And that way people would buy that. And you'd be surprised how many people will pick up that package just because it's a little bit cheaper and it makes it look good. Let's see. I built your mixing valve from your video and it works great. Well, awesome. I'm glad it works. They do work good. That's something that I just started doing out of it. One side of the wand is a quick connector for different tips, and the other side is a special tip that pulls Kim, and it's not pulling. I would make sure that ball valve is opening up enough where it goes in there, because if that valve is not opening up enough, it can cause it'll cause it an issue. Let's see here. I lost my place here. One side, okay. It's my first one and it was my last one. Thank you, Jason. Okay, no problem. Ed Bentley, thanks. Did a house wash and the customer asked, would I do them for an additional cost? Will getting a pole coming in F13. We'll get a pole coming in F13. So you'll need F13, you'll need that brush, and you need about 60-degree weather. It's got to be above 60 degrees or F13 will not work. I like it up to 70 degrees, but it has to be at least 60 degrees or F13 will not work. F13, you can buy a gallon of it. It's like, I think it's like $30. It's not that expensive, but make sure you charge for it, because you will get a good workout. I always charge $150 just for gutter clean, because it sucks. I hate it. That's just my personal opinion on it. Thanks, Jason. Quick question. I am in Louisiana, and what permits and stuff do I need to have a legal pressure washing business? By the way, it's just me, so no workers' comp. So around here, you don't need no permits. You will need to get with the state and get your LLC, so that way they can't sue you. I know Florida, you gotta have a permit, but I don't think Louisiana does. I might be wrong. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I would definitely check with your state. You should be able to go to your Secretary of State, and you'll find out all your information there. Here in Kentucky, we can go, or Ohio, you go to the Secretary of State and you can fill out all your forms, and that way it keeps you from being able to get sued and all that kind of stuff. And you're right, you don't need workers' comp, because there ain't no workers' comp going to cover you. You will need general liability insurance, though. So if you screw something up, it will pay for it. And it's not that expensive, but it is something. Okay, cool. She's not in a hurry. I will do the gutters in the spring and wash the house again. Yep. I am going south for 2.5 months. Are you going to go down there and wash? Because you can do that too. I know a guy that goes down to Florida every year and washes every year, and he does fairly good down there. He'll go down and he'll door knock, and he'll bring home pretty good money just doing that. But yeah, that's a great way to make money, is to go south. You'll have to go pretty far south, otherwise you won't make money. Or you can go south if you make enough money during the year. You can go south and not have to do nothing. That's even better. So I've been watching long enough to know that Jason charges crazy to clean gutters and hang icicle lights. You're exactly right. And you know what? There's crazy people out there that will pay it. That's the crazy part of it. $10 a foot icicles and $200 gutter cleans. If they want it clean, they will pay it, and I will clean it for them at that point. But you know what I like doing? I love doing house washes, because you know why I love doing house washes? Because I don't ever have to leave the ground, and I can wash everything from the ground, and it's awesome. And there's great thing. If I could, the only thing I could clean is vinyl siding, and do vinyl siding, I would do that in a heartbeat, because vinyl siding is easy and it's fun to do for me. You can sit there and do it real quick and make $300 and be in and out in an hour. Where else are you going to do that? Nowhere. As a newbie, do you recommend charging per square foot, or low balling a little to get your foot in the door and get clients first before you start charging a lot? I do not agree with the lowballing stuff. And I'll tell you why most people lowball. It's not that you're trying to get jobs. That's not why people lowball. People lowball because they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that people will pay it. They don't know who their customer is. They don't know anything what they need to know. So go check out my training and learn, so that way you get rid of that factor. People are afraid to sell to people. That is the fact. People are afraid to get told no. People want to be liked. Here's the thing in sales. You're going to get told no, and you can't, and a no means you just didn't do your job enough to sell them. And whatever you got to do to sell them is what you got to do. So go out there. Now, do you got to be high dollar? No, I'm not going to go for that either. Go out there, charge a nice what you think, and then add a little bit and start seeing what you can do with it. And it's all about getting customers. It's all about getting leads and turning leads into customers. Because the reason why people think they need to charge low is that they can't get their phone to ring. And when they can't get their phone to ring, then they're like, well, I must be too high. Well, I must be too high. No, you don't have your phone ringing, because guess what? Not everybody's your customer. Our close rate on pressure washing, we are high. You're right. Our close rate is 50%. 50%. We get told no 50% of the time. And in pressure wash or in Christmas light, we get told no 8 out of 10 times. 80% of the time we get told no. But that's how we get our larger prices. That's how we stay in business. And that's how we do less work and make more money, is by doing it that way. And that's how you can make $100,000 a year, making more money by doing it that way also. Because a $99 guy ain't never going to make $100,000 doing pressure washing at $99 a house by himself. Guarantee that's not going to happen. All right. Ever use an XJet M5 before? I have used it a couple times. Most times I use it is on stucco because that way I can use a hot mix, and I can do it that way with a hot mix. Other than that, I don't use the XJet very much. I like the downstream, and here's the reason why I like the downstream. I did have employees, and it's a lot easier to teach an employee how to downstream than it is to how to do it with an XJet. Because here's the problem with the XJet. I'm trying to back up here so I can get more light on me. Here's the problem with the XJet. The XJet, you're going to kill. There's a good possibility that you can kill stuff, and I don't want to kill stuff. Killing stuff is not a good thing. Killing stuff will cause other issues and all that great kind of stuff. So we don't want to kill stuff. That didn't work either. I'm kind of running out of light here. So that belt driven versus geared or direct. Belt driven. Most belt driven pumps, you will be able to gravity feed it and not otherwise you might not be able to gravity feed with a direct drive. If you get onto the higher end, the direct drives, you should be able to gravity feed, but on the lower end, on the cheaper pumps, you will not be able to gravity feed it. It has to have a water hose basically to it. So, but if you have learned anything tonight, give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it very much. If you, no thumbs down, because I already got enough haters. But that is something that we can do. What do you do if a client has brittle vinyl siding and it should be replaced? Are you worried about damaging it? No, I'm not worried about damaging it because we soft wash. We use less than 100 psi. So when we clean, we use soaps to clean versus high pressure. When you take a shower, you don't use high pressure. When you take a shower at night, you put soap on there and you lather all up in soap and let that soap do the cleaning. And that's what we're doing, the same thing. And it's technically chemical cleaning it with sodium hypochlorite, or aka bleach. And we're making sure that we are using a diluted amount, so that way we're only using a strong enough mixture to clean it, but not damage it. And basically, if it has oxidation, where can you find my training information? If you go to pressurewashhelp.com/training, I think the link is actually in the description. It will take you to the landing page that I have made, and it will give you all the different offers. If the house has oxidation, which is that gray chalky feel when you wipe your hand across it, it'll give you a white chalky looking feel on it. That is called oxidation. If you use high pressure on a house that has oxidation, you will remove that oxidation. And when you remove that oxidation, it will look like somebody with a pencil or a paintbrush has went up there and done it. And that's usually what people look like when they use high pressure. And this is why we use low pressure to wash the house and low pressure to rinse the house. That way we make sure that we don't damage that house. And that is why we do it that way. On that training question of how to do the stuff, if you go to pressurewashhelp.com/training, I have all my stuff in there. It's a membership style. You can cancel after 1 month, or you can hang out and learn more as I put in it as I go. I'm planning on really putting a lot of information in there. I want to be able to, I want to make sure that you can be able to do this job and be successful at it. I'm putting all kinds of information in it right now. I've been putting a lot of my Christmas light stuff on my Christmas light side. Right now, if you sign up, you will get the Christmas light side of it also. You will get you will get everything to know about Christmas lights too. I don't know how long I will be able to keep that going of doing it. I might actually separate it, but on my marketing side of things, my marketing is a thing that I do. I'm putting everything in there for marketing. I need to take your soft wash class, Jason. Absolutely. I will be offering in-person classes come the spring. I'm probably only going to offer my classes in person 2 to 3 times a year. My originally plan was I was going to do it every month, but that just got a little bit more crazy than I thought. And people don't like to sign up until the day of, and I can't handle people doing that because I need to be able to plan of what I need to get done. So I will be doing some more classes and doing that kind of stuff. I am a member, can't seem to locate the Voxer. Hey, Lester, I actually, if you go back into the thing, I actually, I don't have a video, but I have the link for you to be able to click my link, and I talk about how to do it. It's under, if you go under pressure washing, and I did everything for so that you can actually see how to be able to get it. You're not the first one been having problems with it. So that way I went and made an easy link to be able to get that. So that way, to be able to find me on there. And it's actually got a link that you can click that will take you automatically there. I did that yesterday or the day before. So I wanted to make sure I can make it as easy as possible. So I have a machine that was built in downstream injector that pulls 21. Can I just add a new injector to it without having to plug my current injector and still work? Absolutely. You can do a standalone injector, and then you'll just want to make sure that injector is a little bit lower pressure than the pump ones. That way it will bypass there first before at the pump. I did a video on it a couple months ago on it. So if you go on my channel, you'll be able to find that video. All righty. So I've been at it for 72 minutes. Let me know what you think of, is this helpful for you all, me doing these lives, and should I keep it up? My number up there I don't think is right tonight for whatever reason. It shows I only got 2 people in here, but I know I got more people than that on here. I've been up to about 40 people. Sounds great. I'll be there. I am trying to do it every Sunday night. Next week is Sunday night. I will do it Sunday night next week, and then the following week is actually I don't know. It might be early Sunday night, or I might be driving. So next week I'm headed down into Kentucky for a week-long class. I'm actually headed to New York this week teaching a Christmas light. I'm going to try, I don't know, Lester, on what time. I heard I don't have the internet down there, so I may do it early. I may actually do it Saturday morning. If there's a way that I could send an email out, would people be interested in signing up to let people know that when I'm going live? If you hit the bell notification down here and hit make sure the notifications, and then you will get a notification from YouTube whenever I do go live. You can do that too. So that is something else you can do. But I'm getting ready to go pick up my daughter again here. She's almost out of youth group, so I'm going to get out of here. I hope you all learned something, and hope you all have a great night. And be careful. Go make a lot of money this week. Probably, unless you're doing leaves or Christmas nights, it's going to be tough. But go get out there and start getting your stuff ready for spring, getting your reviews, getting all that kind of stuff up and ready to go. And I'll see you next week.